You may have heard it before, a common line used to undermine the pro-life movement, that pro-lifers are only pro-birth. But our next guest alone busts that misconception. Susan Gallucci is a licensed clinical social worker and executive director of the Northwest Center, a Washington, D.C. based group that runs both a pregnancy center and a maternity home. Susan, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
First off, your group is just one of the many examples of the hard work pro-lifers are committed to across the country. Can you give us a rundown of what happens at the Northwest Center?
Certainly. So we've been in existence since 1981. We're founded by Georgetown students and alumni. We started with the Pregnancy Center program. So we offer free urine-based pregnancy tests and sit down with the women to do what we call options counseling, go through their options when they're facing the unplanned pregnancy. And then in 1993, we opened the maternity home program. So we offer a transitional housing program for women who are pregnant, often kicked out of their house due to their pregnancy, where they can come and stay and have the baby, get on their feet, and transition to independence. So we're a small townhouse in Northwest DC. In the basement level is our pregnancy center. We also see more than 100 families a month and help them with diapers and baby clothes and a listening ear and parenting skills, connecting them to resources. And then we house 4 or 5 women and their babies in the upstairs of the townhome.
This is truly care for women in need. And you say it takes a village to care for these women. What do you mean by that?
It really does, thinking about having a baby, having all those extra people. And I say to the moms as they're there by themselves, if people are planning to have a baby, there's the wife, there's the husband, there's the in-laws, there's the neighbors. And so we really want to create that support. Who's going to be there to give them a break in the middle of the night, or to just hold the baby while they fix a meal. And also as the baby gets older, to watch the baby if the baby's sick and can't go to daycare, but they have to go to work or go to school. And to provide all those extra supports that a family would provide.
Now, you are a licensed clinical social worker. What kind of insight does that give you as you're caring for and encountering these women?
I think it really gives me the skill set to be able to listen, to be able to look at, in social work we say person and environment, what's going on with them psychologically, emotionally, physically, especially as they're entering pregnancy, and say, what do they need? Where can I give them the space to really talk about what's going on so they can choose life? There's so many pressures there, so how can we give them that space to think about choosing life for the baby and letting them know what resources are there, and really letting them know that we care both for the woman and for the child, both in that moment of crisis but beyond as well.
That's so well said. Now, as someone who is so committed and dedicated to the pro-life cause, when you hear that common misunderstanding, that common myth that pro-lifers are only pro-birth, what's your response to that?
I look at, for example, what the Pope just said about being pro-life means being pro-family. And I think if people step back and really look at pro-lifers and what we're doing, yes, you need people on all the lines. You need the legislative aspect. You need the people at the abortion clinics praying so the women who walk in can see them and know they have alternatives. And you need the people beyond. The women who live in the maternity home come back after they leave, when their child's 2, when their child's 3, to say how they're doing, to ask for help, just to check in. And I think it's that to say, I'm proud of you, look what I'm doing, look how far I've come.
Sounds like you're really creating this community for these women so that after they give birth, there is still support that is there.
Absolutely. And again, it's looking at what's that whole picture. And again, you need people at every stage, but we're helping women until the children are 2.5 with diapers, with other items, and again with housing for 1.5 years or a little longer if they need it.
Thank you for all the work that you are doing. I really mean that. Susan Gallucci, Executive Director of the Northwest Center.
Thank you so much.